Ooh, what's going on YouTube? It's Donnie B all day. My phone just updated itself by itself without prompting, and now I'm getting a weird thing right around here. It's like a countdown. Never was there before, but it is now, so that's gonna bug me. So, first of all, Joe Love, Steel Forged and Fire, Sword and Knife, Choir Boys Cutlery, good old Scabber. Had a good meetup, had a great weekend. They put up some really cool videos, so go to both those channels and check them out because they did a really cool collab. I was supposed to go down there with them. I couldn't make it because we had snow here and I couldn't dodge the area. So that sucks. So next time, next meetup, it's going to be the Three Amigos. Promise you boys, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. So outside of that, I have an update for you. Just something I wanted to show you what's coming up with the Khukuri House and dbad Designs. I put this out there a little while ago, and my intentions were for the next knife out to be one of the missions. Either it was going to be the 8-inch style buoy redone or the Mission 2, the Rambo 2. And then I put up this design, and the Khukuri House saw it and said, dude, can we do this one next instead? And I was like, well, hell yeah, because I really want this after designing it. How it came about was somebody had written me and they said, how cool would it be to have like a full tang version of a like a cold steel extra large Espada. And as you guys know, I own and use and love my cold steel extra large Espada. And I thought that could be really cool if it was done right. I said to myself, the main thing is I'd have to change a whole lot, A, to make it mine, and B, to make it better. So, using a little Scottish Gaelic, I thought about the shape I wanted this thing to be. And I was inspired by the shape of a crocodile. And it's really cool because Off-Grid Knives, check them out, came up with a caiman that had like a caiman style shape to it. And you have a caiman and then you have a crocodile, right? So I say, well, it's not going to look anything like the caiman, obviously. But it's just, cool that you're inspired by, animals inspires more than one person to make a knife. And it's really cool. But I'm going to show you what it is. This is called the dbad Crogal. And the Crogal is crocodile in Scott Gaelic. I think it's even just regular Gaelic, like in Ireland and whatnot. But it's old Gaelic, right? So this thing's going to be a beast. And normally I don't show you the upcoming designs always. You know what I mean? Like I like to add some surprises. But this one's going to get some people excited. So this is what we have. Holy Moses. So you'll notice that, well, first let's go over the specs. This thing's going to be about 20 1/4 inches overall length. So it's going to be big. It's just going to be big. It's going to be 7mm thick. It's going to be thick. It's going to be thick. It's going to be 2 1/4 inches wide. It's going to be wide. It's going to be wide. And then it's going to be sharp. It's going to be sharp. All right, so enough of that stuff. So we're looking at an 11-inch blade, which is clearly different than the Cold Steel's folding knife, right? We're looking at 9 1/4 inch scales. So the length is going to be similar in length to the Espada, but I changed the shapes, and I'll show you exactly. And this is going to have micarta scales instead of carbon fiber because I want this thing to have a really great grip all the time, every time, right? We're looking at possibly doing, and it's going to have a lanyard hole, and possibly doing a two-tone sheath, which would be really cool. But what I want to show you is some overall look to it. Right here on the Espada, it comes really far down. It goes way over here and then curls up, and it gives you like an extended heel that's not really needed when you're talking about a full-size grip in here. And when you're looking at 9 1/4 inches overall, that means these each are going to be around 4.5 inches, which is going to be a really good finger hold. Now, what happens is what I did was I took away that choil that was in here that was A, unnecessary, and B, added less grip in the forehold for your tight work, because now your I lost you. Now your pinky, hey, there I am. So your pinky, I gotta keep this alive, goes up, and then your forefinger goes up, and then these two fingers are left here. So this and this are farther off. Didn't make sense. Only this one needs to be up. So that's why I did that. I changed that completely. I changed the shape of, it's not a subhill, it's more like a finger well. I changed the shape of that, and I completely altered the shape in here. I brought this way more forward because this was back here more, and you remember there was like a big steel piece, and then this came, the ricasso on the Espada goes down at an angle like this, and it's big. It's like this long. It's just huge, and it's just not necessary. What it does is it'll throw the weight off of the blade if it's left in a full tang configuration. And that is just a no-no. We can't do that. I gave it a baby recurve right here just to provide a sweeping belly. And I could make a sweeping belly and then come straight, but then it would just have less shape and it wouldn't be nice. I did change the shape of the clip just enough because, again, balance. It's all about balance, balance, balance. This thing has to work. So I needed to make it, since it's going with an 11-inch blade, it really needs to carry inside that balance and the point of balance. Up here, normally they have the wave technology. It goes like this, then the blade drops and then goes. I didn't want that. I didn't want the wave, that bump. I had like a love-hate relationship with that wave. I think it's ugly as hell. Does it work when you use it in your pocket? Yeah. Does it work for anything else? No, it's useless for anything else. So I do have a love-hate relationship with that Emerson type thing. We have 4 pins holding it on and a lanyard hole. And if you'll notice, while there's no bump here, what I did is I created a sweep, right? So you'll notice that it's very, very light, but from here to here is a different height. It's just a nice sweep, and what that does, it sets up the clip for the tip. And you see these points right here? I wanted my clip point to equal the center of gravity inside my handle. What that's going to do, it's going to create a better power, and it's going to give it supreme balance just by doing that stupid little thing. Now, to do that, if I left this straight, I would have had to have a shallow clip, and it just wouldn't look right. So that's why I did a sweeping spine, elongated clip with a center of gravity with the palm. So your palm is going to be the center of gravity to this entire swing, which is going to make it phenomenal. So this is what we're looking at for our next knife. This thing is going to be sweet. It's going to be nice. And because I've been getting asked for a long time to do a Muso buoy, and I put up designs before and working designs. And here's the thing. When you're talking about doing a brass guard on a knife, you need to secure the guard in one of a couple different manners. You need to do friction, or like gravity hold, which means I have to take the handle and glue it on there and press it against the brass all the way against the change of size in the steel, and hope that it sandwiches enough to where it's not going to loosen up, but they always end up loosening up. Or what you do is you tack weld the guard to the steel, because you can't do a full weld from brass to steel. It's just not going to hold. It doesn't work. So I started thinking to myself, if I'm going to do a Muso buoy, I want to keep it pretty much true to size, like the original size. And we all know the reason it's called a Muso is because the rumors are, one, that it was made by Ezra, by Jim Bowie's brother. But then they say, well, what about Mr. Muso? There's rumors that Mr. Muso built it, and there's a guy named Muso, and that's why it's called the Muso buoy, because it's said that he may be the one that made it. Another story, another time. So basically, I wanted to keep it 20 inches, 14-inch blade, and we're looking at a 6-inch handle, so it's going to be plenty of hold. And I'm still working on the finalized shape. I have it fairly close to the original, but I wanted to make it more functional and just better in the hand. So I'm working on a couple different things, but it's Muso all the way. And I'm going to show you. But here's my thing. I want to do a black blade, right? And instead of a brass guard, I thought if I went with a polished steel over a black blade, this can be welded. So can this. So if this is steel and this is all the same steel, that means it can all be welded. So it will never come loose, never come off. What you have with the spine guard on a regular Muso buoy, it's made of brass, and it's made to, if it takes impact, it'll help against vibration in the hand, right? But when you use it as a knife, if you're chopping, doing stuff like that, a lot of times, especially if you're going all the way through something, this gets hit and it pops off. It loosens and flies off, and then you are without your cool-looking guard. And then this, because it's brass, is going to loosen eventually. Doing the spine guard and the hand guard all in steel means this can be completely 100% reinforced, and it will never, ever, ever come off. Now, the original Muso design was wider here, and then it tapered in right before the very elongated clip point. So it was really important to me that I kept that piece of it in there, but making it with micarta scales, and the original one has more of a swept handle like this. And it was kind of, I don't know if it was on accident or if it was bent from hammering and they just went over and he just left it. But it was just unconventional the way it swept. Being a fighting knife, this thing really needed to be a little bit straighter. So that's why I took away that heavy, like in Japanese terms, it would be called a sori. I took it away and I just gave it a really, really nice curve up. And then I made it disappear. It's like a magic show. So I gave it a nice curve up. You can see right here, it lifts to the heel, but not so much to where you're going to be holding a knife like this and it goes this way. I don't want that. If I wanted that, I'd make an Arabian sword. This is the mother of all buoys. So that's why that's a shredder. That's why that's like that. So this is going to be one that I'm going to finish tinkering with, and I think this is going to be my final Muso design. I was working with a finger guard design, with an elaborate design here, with a 2-inch guard. And the reason I was going to go with a 2-inch brass guard was to keep the nostalgia of the guard, but keep it back far enough to where if I was using the knife, I wouldn't lose the guard. But eventually, who knows, you might lose the guard anyway, because, you know, sometimes knives just do what they want when they're going through a piece of wood. So I figured this, with a nice strong weld in here, that would lock it on forever. So it would probably be the most secure and solid Muso buoy literally ever made. You're not going to find ones that have welded on guards, right? So that's my thought process. So I'm thinking that maybe Krogal and put a pause on the missions, or do a mission, then the final mission. So I'm going to find out. We're going to get it all together. And who knows, maybe I'll do a Facebook post saying, you know, which would you rather see next type thing. It's going to be strong, man. But that Krogal, that's the next piece coming out. So this one right here is going to be absolutely nasty. They're already starting to work on my prototype, and this thing is going to be sick. I mean, sick. It's going to be awesome. I'm absolutely 100% and totally psyched about it. Get ready, guys. It's going to be nasty. So anyways, that's it for that. All the names I mentioned, we got Scab and Joe, and I mentioned Shredder and everybody else. Let's look at the Erics and the Aussies and the Pistol Petes and everybody, and let's get subs out there, man. Let's get subs out to the Brothers of the Blades. If you see a knife channel that is followed by all of the regulars, that means there's a pretty good chance he's with all the regulars. So let's do it all. Let's keep everybody happy. I am Donnie B all day. Until next video.